Hey, Aquarius, this one's for you. Hi, welcome. This is Tarot Lumination with your general report for February 2018, and that's you, Aquarius, okay? Remember, these are just general reports, okay? And we're doing broad spectrum readings here. It's from the soul. I think of it as a journey of the heart, every beat of the heart, as we try and grow and evolve and become our fullest selves, okay? No jumpers, flyers, oracles, no reversals, none of it. We're just using the very most basic systems that we can here, most basic deck that most people recognize already. And, you know, do the routine, you do it already. Do the cross watching for your sun, moon, and rising. That's the protocols here with tarot. And then cross-watching as well for those very significant people in your life too. Sometimes that can help. Sometimes it helps others, you know. We're going to dive right in. No reversals, okay? And then we're going to let the cards tell a story, all right? And then you're going to make the best of it, and you're going to reinterpret it however it works for you, okay? This reading's for you. I'm not a fortune teller, okay? You have to figure it out, make your own decisions. Okay, we are ready to go. Okay, we're going to cut it up. Seriously, cut it up. I hear some construction going on nearby, so please accept my apologies if there's some weird sounds going on in the background. There's no time at the moment to stop and work around that stuff. So here we go. At the very core, this is the heart energy, deep, deep heart energy. The heart needs what it needs, wants what it wants, has to get what it has to get. The heart sucks in the nutrients and pumps them out again, beat by beat by beat, till the day you drop. Okay, and that's the same for all of us. So love your heart, take care of you, love yourself. What are you bringing in with you? Think of this as legacy. Maybe you're walking in here totally, just hands in pockets, wondering what's going on. Maybe you're carrying years of stress. Maybe you're carrying all sorts of assets in a very, very important briefcase with padlocks. Maybe you're carrying who knows what here. This is legacy. It's history. It's baggage. Could be past life vibrations. Over here is the ever-present now. This is on the understanding that in our human bodies we have this thing called the now. We have this concept called the past and this construct called the future. And a lot of us don't like the present because it means we have to be fully present. And it's easier and typically more comfortable to predicate our ambitions and desires for the future on what we know from the past. So that it's like, you know, the past doesn't exist anymore and the future is, it's always out there. So let's stay as much in the present as we can, as hard as that can be. It can also be very satisfying. Maybe you're an expert. I don't know. Over here would be the healing power of your decisions. Let's say you're really, really good at hanging out in the present and you're very conscious about the decision-making process. The more and more present that you are, the more and more you would be aware of how your decisions are fundamental phenomena to, let's say, creating your life, determining what you would call an outcome. Okay, the farther and farther that you stay away from the present, the less likely you are able to tap into the healing power of your decisions and maximize your own evolution. Okay, so over here, let's have a look. Let's say you're a real expert. How are we going to do this in a way that nurtures your heart so that you can love yourself first, which is the best thing that for everyone else around you, so that you're your happiest, healthiest, most loving, most lovable self. Okay? And then consequently, what would arrive? You know, how would that work for you? You know? In other words, what would you start, you know, bringing to you for your understanding or your awakening or whatever it might be? Now let's say we're over here, you know, each beat of the heart has momentum. It opens and closes, as it sucks in nutrients, pumps out the nutrients, sucks in the waste, pumps out the waste, all of that. Let's say, what if you mess up on your decisions? Okay, as you anticipate the so-called future. What if you make really good loving decisions that work for you over here on this side of the heart? How would that work out for you? Okay, and then the momentum moving into the next beat over here. Uh, what is that looking like? Next, we're going to look at circumstantial energy. Think of it as the weather. And if you want to, if it's really sucky weather and you want to feel depressed, that's your decision. Okay. If it's really sucky weather and you choose to be happy from the inside out, that's a decision too. All right. Let's, of course, for the good weather too. You're not legally obliged to be deliriously happy just because it's a sunny, beautiful day. You have the, you can be miserable if you want. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay. With the Five of Swords here, my feeling is Aquarius, because this is sort of, we're heading into your period now, you might be realizing how you might be coming, let's say, face to face with some of your own self-defeating behaviors. Aquarians, you know, it's a convention. People do say this. I have lots of Aquarian friends, and they can be very cerebral. Okay, and sometimes they're not aware of things and how they could work from other potentials, and it could be so easy to get locked in the mind without knowing you're there. You know, we live so much of our life experience through the mind that we sometimes lose track with our heart, our senses, our intuition, and everything like that. And so, with the energy of the Five of Swords here, where it's almost like the feeling of having to be right instead of happy. Okay, and that can be self-defeating without even knowing it. You think you're doing the right thing, and you're actually hurting yourself. Okay. Now, also, we need to understand we're coming up into some really big eclipses right now. For you, Aquarius, it's going to be right on the nose. Right at the end, the very tippy end of January is the starting point where you have that Leo Aquarius full moon. And then in middle of February, we got the Leo new moon. So, sorry, the Aquarius new moon. And so it's like you might be witnessing the polarized opposite sides of yourself through this short-term period where you're realizing that there's more to learn, okay? And so please make the best of this. It could be very easy to, let's say, mess up. If you get really hit by that full moon eclipse, where you get that sense of opposition, where that Leo moon really comes at you as an opposition, and you feel like you have to defend yourself and protect yourself because you are divinely ordained as an Aquarius, and that's just how it is. And yet there's all this powerful Leo energy out there, almost like contradicting you, you know? And the eclipses are all about the lunar nodes. So when you get into the middle of January, in the middle of February, and the eclipse is sitting there right on the collective south node, you could become very, very starkly aware of everything that's not working in your life, everything from which you are supposed to outgrow as the Aquarius, even as a highly evolved Aquarius, and start looking at the Leo perspective where it's okay to come out there and become more, let's say, like the rest of us, like human, vulnerable, emotional, dramatic, expressive, um, instead of having to maintain the Aquarian ideal. It's okay to just come down and hang out with the rest of us in our sloppy humanity, and just be one of us for a while. Okay, but that might be hard to do. Well, that's all I'm suggesting. Let's have a look at the heart energy. Okay, be very, very careful, Aquarius, with these eclipses. All I can say with this reading already, we're like on black ice here. Okay, I've seen this in quite a lot of readings recently. With you, Aquarius, it's almost like being singled out during this time period right now with the eclipses, the tippy end right at the end of January. That's going to affect you for pretty much the whole month, because it's the end of one way of being and the beginning of a new way of being. And then you get into the new moon eclipse, and it could really, really make you feel like you're on black ice. Like you're trying to maintain your integrity and trying to maintain your sense of what is right and what is righteous, and ending up realizing Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Okay. Leo energy is all about being happy, having fun, loving and being loved, being able to uh, romance yourself, being romanced by others, allow your creative expression to flow. And yet, if you're locked up in preconceptions that are not working for you because you're so immersed in being a traditional Aquarian, it's going to be like black ice, driving on black ice. It could be like, whoa, whoa, I want to go left, but the vehicle's going right. I want to go right, but my vehicle's doing a 180. Be very, very careful of what you say, how you say it, when you say it, who you say it to, and where you say it, and what kind of energy is loaded in your words, your thoughts. Remember, thoughts are things. So in some ways, you're very, very vulnerable right now. And you need to be aware of that so that you don't stumble up uh, um, while you're trying to do the right thing. I know it sounds absurd. It sounds totally counterintuitive, but that's what I feel we're dealing with here, Aquarius. So it's very, very, very delicate situation here. What are you bringing in with you? Okay. So you might already be freaked out by what's happening. You might already be feeling it inside of you. My feeling here with the Hanged Man is that you might be a little bit disembodied already by the energy that we just talked about here. You might already be feeling this so strongly just walking in to February, coming out of the end of January, that it can almost like make you feel stunned, like what, like somebody zapped you, literally like somebody zapped you with a stun gun or a taser, or you stuck your finger in a light bulb socket, that kind of energy. And it really would jolt you coming in like somebody whacked you on the head and you're saying, "Hey, Tarot Illumination, can I get a reading, please?" And you kind of go, like, "I'm just fine. I'm doing just fine." And Tarot Illumination is looking at you and says, "Maybe you might want to sit down, Okay, just chill, just chill, just chill." Okay. So that's how I'm feeling it right here for you right now, Aquarius. Don't take this personally. This is just a very broad reading for the Aquarian vibe. I'm not targeting anyone in particular, but you could feel very disoriented coming into this period, even though it's very much about you. It's a lot of pressure. Okay. Let's see. What about the present? Okay. Well, let's just say you're getting what you deserve. And so don't take this too personally. In other words, if you can see this from a very, very, very neutral point of justice, so to speak, where everything is exactly as it should be, Aquarius, thank you very much. And whatever's going wrong, whatever's not working for you, okay, make a list or something like that. And let's put it in words and identify that. And we'll find a way to bring justice to this stuff so that we can get things right for you. Now, if things are working, whatever's working, great. You deserve that. That's great. But with the justice here, I think for you, staying in the now means like learning how to like almost like accept how in very subtle ways you could have been your own worst enemy for a long time, perhaps. And then even with all your best of intentions, even with perceptions that could make you feel like actually in some ways you're doing great, and then discovering in very, very subtle ways, actually you are skidding. It's like continually skidding off the road of your life, your journey, and then having to recenter yourself. But again, it's your life. There's no one else who can live your life for you. You're not going to outsource this stuff. So in other words, being present means having to be very, let's say, ready, willing, and able to accept the circumstances, accept the conditions as they are without any prejudice. In other words, if things are really, really tough for you right now, then there is a very good reason for that. And the reasons lie deep inside. And if you try to fight them or deny them or say it's someone else's fault, you're just going to tie yourself deeper into knots here. Whereas if you realize, oh my gosh, now I end it. I get it. I was my own worst enemy. Dang. I wish I'd learned about that stuff earlier. Oh well, what can we do now? Well, justice is served, so we're going to make the best of it. Let's just say, okay, well, this is how it is. So what are we going to do? You can make decisions. Okay, you're totally free here to make decisions, even with all of this. Okay, more swords. So if you're out there on the battlefronts of life, feeling you're constantly having to prove uh, and make things right and do things according to a certain code or a certain standard, and you're doing everything you can, you're doing it by the book with all your best of intentions, and yet things are maybe not going the way you would hope, then it might be an idea, just saying, to give yourself a little bit of a break right now. Remember, coming into this reading at the tail end of January, January would be like your 12th house energy. And that's the house of self-undoing. So it might be like you've just realized, oh my gosh, now I'm starting to see all the little tiny ways that I've been undermining myself. And now I need to give myself a break. Don't take it all personally. Just treat it as your journey, and justice is being served, and you're living that in right now, where you're not. Okay, let's put it this way. If you're trying to force a future outcome based on preconditionings from the past according to logic and reason, that would make perfect sense to you, and it's not working, there's no one else to blame, okay? Because, that's, you might have all the best of intentions, but we make our reality in the present, in the now. So right here in the now, when you're making these decisions, it must be like it's about removing yourself from these self-imposed battlefields. Like if you're pushing and pushing and pushing so hard to get things right and it's not working, then it's time to give yourself a break. Make deliberate decisions to heal yourself first. Give yourself a break and understand how, even in the most subtle ways, you might be very successful and happy in so many ways, but deep down, there are things that are really like not working for you, because it's almost like the things that are most important keep just sliding off the road or sliding out of your life, or the more you grab at them, the more you lose them. So instead of fighting for all this, it's much more about like, take it all down, take it all down, take a break, understand that you've lived through all of this, and it's now time. You're going to come into your element, but you've just gone through that 12th house awakening of what needs to be revealed in order to be healed, and then falling right into these eclipses, like, you might be feeling like you're really getting tossed around here, but it really is about healing. Okay, it really is about healing and giving yourself a break to heal. How are we going to do this effectively so you don't keep tripping yourself up, and you can get out of the feeling of uh, having to behave in ways that are, let's say, below you, or undermining yourself without even knowing it, tripping yourself up, letting other people in their ways trip you up, accidentally tripping up people for trying to assert and live according to your ways and rules, which may not be working for you or them. How do we do this? Okay. If you think of this as a journey, and all this will change, all this will pass, and eventually you will move out of the Aquarius Leo North Node eclipses and all of that stuff, and the Leo North Node, and all of that will move into different times, and it's a journey, beat by beat by beat. All of these cards will change next time. So right now, if you think of this as you're being initiated, if you think you like being hazed, okay? And don't take it personally. This is just what happens when you move into the next dimension, so to speak. It's just like, oh, look, haha, Aquarius qualified. And so they went through all the tough challenges over the last few years, and they did this, and they've come out, and now they're ready to move up to the next level. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this new world. And of course, in going to the next level, you're going to discover everything that's not working for you. So just to give you a little bit of a shakeup so that you get to the idea of what's going to work, We're going to scare you, but it's time to trust your intuition. Tune into what your guts and hearts is telling you as opposed to the mind. Okay, let's keep going here. Consequently, okay, yeah, it might feel a battle for you. It might feel as though you're being pushed to your limits, but please understand that this is good for you. You're actually heading in the right direction here. But it means having to take a whole new perspective on life than what you're used to doing. Now, when you're making decisions and you choose to insist on being right, what happens? Okay. It's like, okay, that's wonderful. You are doing what you feel you're bound to do, and you're just feeding the fire, so to speak. You're adding more friction to the problems, okay? Almost like making it worse. However, when you, let's say, disengage from the fight, disengage from the self-defeating behaviors, and allow yourself to heal from within and start to listen to your deepest, most inner voice and allow yourself to be scared if you have to be, even if it doesn't make any sense the way things are heading, then it can be very, very liberating from you. It can liberate you from the prison of your mind. Let's put it that way. You know, it's so easy for Aquarians to get locked in the mind, and we need liberty. Aquarians, you're so much about liberty. It's time to free yourself, liberate yourself, heal yourself, okay? And that can be very fulfilling. It's the same energy in the card, but it's like the inverse of the other, all right? So let's have a look here. Prospects. To-doom. You see, you can start to have more that Leo glow, which might feel very alien to you, okay? And starting to like have that warmth and shine, that feeling of being human with the rest of us. Because sometimes Aquarians, I know you can feel very detached and isolated and lonely. Like there's you, and then there's the rest of the planet, and you have no idea why the rest of the planet is such a bizarre place. And then the rest of the planet is thinking like, that Aquarius is so bizarre. Da, 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 da. How bizarre, how bizarre. And yet, if you're willing to live through this beat by beat, as scary as it might be, it's actually very liberating for you, and it allows you to, let's say, tune into the more, doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a girl watching this, the more feminine side of yourself where you can kind of glow as though you were kind of a movie star actor, okay? From the heart, where you're starting to live your heart life from the heart more and more and more, and less from the mind, less from the super advanced scientific Aquarian mind, and actually turning into be someone who's jovial. Like it's okay to just like, you know, be human and come down to hang around here on planet Earth with all the other aliens and to, you know, be one of us for a while. It's kind of fun. It's actually okay. Um, so in doing that, it also allows you to actually experience the joy, like the animal joy, the joy of being human and living from your heart, allowing the heart and the intuition to pulse and flow. It's very, very healing for you, and you get a chance to shine. This is the whole point of the Leo North Node, especially for you, Aquarius, is to give yourself just the chance to shine like never before. And this is very much about that process and discovering what it is that stops you from shining. Of course, it's your own decision-making processes. So I hope you get something out of that. I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you make the best of it. Do your cross watching, watch your sun, moon, and rising, and all of those things. And thank you so much. See you again soon. All the best, Aquarius. You can handle this. You can handle it. Don't worry. All right. You are loving and you are loved. Okay. And you are going to be happy and shine and smile and laugh and giggle and have fun with the rest of us. Okay. Bye.